Okay, the purpose of this video is to give you some instruction on how to use the wind tunnel for experiment number 1, airflow over a cylinder. This wind tunnel has, the first part that you'll see is this nozzle. So the air flows into this nozzle, accelerates through the nozzle into a test section. This is where the clear glass is. There's a test section, and then the air is pulled through by a fan and exhausted to the other side. Here's a front-facing, experimental panel where you have all of your data displayed, and then a computer that records the data. Inside of on this test section, you see here this what is called a force plate. It registers lift, drag, and moment for different test specimens that you would put inside the testing section. For this particular experiment, the force plate is not used other than just holding the test specimen in place. If you go to the side here, you'll see that in this experiment, the test specimen is a cylinder. The cylinder itself on the front, although you're not going to be able to see it on this video, there is a port, a little tiny port in the front. Air flows, starting off in the experiment, air flows against the port. The port has to it connected a tube that goes to a digital manometer on the control panel. The digital manometer, it measures pressure difference. So in this case, the pressure difference is measured between the pressure measured by the port and the pressure measured by the edge of the test section. So that is all connected to what is labeled as differential pressure transducer number 2. There's another one, number 1. That one is connected to a pitot tube. And the pitot tube is used in this case just to compute the air velocity of the air flowing through the test section. To register all this is a proprietary computer program. I'll close that off and show you what it looks like when you first open it. So here's a computer screen that you'll see once the computer loads up. You double click on the icon called AF 100 new data. Up comes this interface, which is the proprietary software that came with Wind Tunnel. Here you'll see a whole different bunch of possible things that are parameters that this wind tunnel can measure. In this case, you're interested only in a few. So you're interested in the differential pressure transducer cell 1 and 2. And if you can tell that you can check or uncheck different different things you want to measure. Here, I only want you to have clicked the 2 manometers or differential pressure cells. You need to have manual angle. You need to have atmospheric temperature, pressure, density, air density, and calculated wind speed checked. You want everything else to be unchecked. So this will register your data. I'll show you how to use it in a minute. What you're going to be doing is using this rotating clamp to turn the angle of the port from facing against the wind to facing out towards the wind. So what I mean is right now it's oriented at 0 degrees. So the port is facing against the airflow. You can unclamp it by turning this knob, and then eventually in increments of 10 degrees, you're going to turn this until you hit 180, which represents the port being oriented in this direction, which is towards the airflow. So starting at 0 degrees, of course, making sure that I have to make sure that this is connected properly. So there you go. So to start off this experiment, you're first going to go ahead and turn on the wind tunnel. So turning on power starts right there. You'll hear the fan activate. What this button does is start the fan moving that pushes the airflow through, and then this knob adjusts the wind speed. What you first want to do is go to the control panel and make sure you set the air temperature according to what the temperature in the room is. That will affect your calculated wind speed. There should be a thermometer located close to the control panel of the wind tunnel. You're going to go ahead and turn on the wind speed. So turn it on. You'll hear it activate. You're gonna go ahead and set the wind speed. Once it's on, or even before it's on, you can go here and click this icon that says Initiate Communications with Device. You turn that on, and you'll see everything activate. Here's your registered pressures. Cell number 2, I think, is the one attached to. Yeah, cell number 2 is the one attached to the cylinder. Cell number 1 is what's attached to the pitot tube. So you can see that your wind speed here, I'm going to turn the knob, and you'll see the wind speed change. Right now it's decreasing, and then it increases. It should be able to increase up to 35 meters per second. So to first start off the experiment, according to the instructions, I think you have to set it to 15 meters per second. So set it to as close as you can. Make sure your temperature is adjusted. Make sure that your angle is set here, that you input what your angle is. It's a manual entry you have to put there. So we're starting off at 0 degrees. And all you need to do is come up here and press record data values. So I just pressed my first recorded data value. Then I will come over here, unclamp the system here that holds the cylinder in place, turn it 10 degrees, clamp it back in place, come back over, set my value, so increase my manual angle to 10 degrees, and click again on record data values. Okay, so once you're done with all that, I'm going to stop the airflow for a moment. You can come up here and press on export recorded data. Save it to the desktop. And what should come up is your Internet Explorer with all of your recorded data. So there I have manual angle 0, 10 degrees. There are my 2 different force transducers, all my atmospheric conditions with my calculated wind speed. So that is all the data you need. Once you have that, you can copy and paste that into an Excel spreadsheet and start processing your data. This concludes the instructional video for experiment number 1.